Well, hello, delegates, and welcome to your April 2022 update. This month welcomes back WEFMAX. WEFMAX starts in Hawaii in about 2 weeks. There's still plenty of time to register for one of our 3 in-person WEFMAXs, either in Hawaii, South Carolina, or North Dakota. Hope to see you at one of these exciting events that our WEFMAX committee has spent the last year planning for. Water Week is happening April 24th to April 30th. In coordination with Water Week, the National Water Fly-In is set for April 27th in Washington, D.C. The fly-in provides attendees the opportunity to hear directly from key EPA officials and members of Congress on important regulatory and legislative water policies that they've been working on. Attendees have the opportunity to relay and discuss essential roles water utilities play in their communities and the important role the water sector has in federal policymakers. The National Fly-In continues to be one of the main events for water professionals from around the country to come together and continue to support the advocacy momentum as one united voice. Let's show up as the water sector together. In addition to that, you can sign up to be one of WEF's Water Advocates, which is our grassroots program that enables all WEF members to write their Congress members at any time regarding calls to action. Current calls to action are right now around supporting water infrastructure funding that includes some emergency relief and recovery package for coronavirus. This includes funding for municipal infrastructure. Please join the Water Advocates program. WEF and the Board of Trustees are committed to supporting member associations and to ensure mutual success. On an ongoing basis, the WEF Board of Trustees has designated funds to provide MAs grants, and these grants are intended to assist member associations in providing their members value, as well as supporting WEF's critical objectives and strategic goals. The first round of grants has been given this year, but the next round of MA grants has a deadline of June 24th. Please consider submitting an application and getting your ideas funded by WEF. Also, upcoming are nominations for both the Board of Trustees and House of Delegates. Be on the lookout to submit an application to serve in WEF's leadership roles as a part of the board or within the House. Incoming delegates can also submit an application for any of the standing committees, so please encourage them to do so as you're rolling off your MA board prior to WEFTech. This month, I'll be interviewing Mark Poling about some of the programs and activities he's been working on as a delegate at large. Thanks, and look forward to seeing you soon. This month's interview is with Mark Poling, delegate at large. Mark is a past board of trustee. In his career, Mark worked for King County / Metro in Washington for 13 years and Clean Water Services in Oregon for 25 years. Mark now leads his own consulting firm focusing on utility management and leadership. Mark, welcome.
Thanks, Steve. Glad to be here.
Well, we're so glad to have you. And there are so many ways that you have served WEF over the years. And you are doing some really cool work in some key initiatives for us. Can you tell us a little bit about some of those initiatives, starting with maybe the utility management speaker contacts?
You bet. So this is actually really exciting because there's, when I was with the PNCWA board and working on the conference planning, we are always looking for speakers. And in particular, a lot of times we're looking for speakers just during the year. And, now that we've got the Zoom and Microsoft Teams technology, there's some really great opportunities. WEF has put together a list of 44 utility leaders that are willing and happy to speak on a variety of topics. There's like 15 areas. They include asset management, energy management, infrastructure renewal and condition assessment, affordability, capital budgeting. We've got effective utility management, collaborative project delivery approaches. That's always been a good subject. Cultural and organizational change, which is one of my passions, leadership, recruitment, retention, training. So it's just, there's a whole bunch of subject areas. Like I said, 44 utility leaders and subject matter experts in these areas. So it's a great opportunity. And they've raised their hands and said, we'd be happy to do this to share what we know on those various subjects.
Wow. I mean, that's amazing. How, if somebody wants to get that list or get in contact, how do they do that?
You know, there's going to be information going out about that. I'm working with Lisa Ruane at WEF, and there'll be more information coming out. As a matter of fact, I'm hoping to get that pulled together and then share that with the HOD, kind of a one-pager, like here's all the stuff you need to know, and here's who you contact, here's the subjects and the different speakers that we have.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I hear in addition to that, you've been working on a few other things. Can you tell us a little about the WISE program?
Oh, sure, you bet. Well, WISE grew out of an initiative that was originally part of the WERF, now Water Research Foundation project, because it's been an ongoing project for about 5 years. It was originally called the Utility Analysis and Improvement Methodology. We've given it a new name as it's moved over to, it's now housed under WEF, which we're very excited about because we wanted to transition it from sort of a project to an ongoing program. And what it's really all about is helping utilities get better, particularly from a business perspective. So we wanted to talk about adding value, talk about business processes in particular. You know, it's interesting, Steve, because I've given a presentation on WISE or the UAIM program a number of times, and it's really interesting because you find that people are very, very comfortable in our industry, filled with engineers and scientists. We're very comfortable with doing process flow diagrams for the wastewater, water treatment processes, very comfortable with that. We start talking about business processes like asset management and those sorts of things, the capital improvement program, business case and evaluation. And, you know, people are like, well, we have never done that before, but the exact same things apply for those business processes. And for me, frankly, it's been one of the more exciting things because I'm a process person by background, love process stuff. I worked on wastewater process a lot of my career. And, you know, but the last 10 years, 15 years really been focused on utility management, really more the business side of things. And although we're not, you know, we're not quote businesses, and most of us, you know, at least on the public sector, we're not focused on making a profit, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't be focused on delivering value. And I know that that's a key thing for everybody in our industry right now. And what we've come up with is a methodology for organizations to assess where they're at, then a process, a methodology for them to work on improvements. And one of the best things that's come out of this is we've created these cohorts of subject matter experts in particular. So for instance, like on capital improvement planning, asset management, we've got groups right now working on in other areas, including energy management and energy efficiency. We've also got teams working on analytics and technology and data analytics. And these folks, you know, in my mind, I had kind of this picture of, you know, we would create sort of these, I won't call it best practice, I'd call it a leading practice, because we get a lot of experts from leading utilities around the country, as well as some international participation. And they put together these processes, which are sort of models. And you can take bits and pieces from them that fits your particular circumstance. And I thought, you know, we'd kind of, okay, great. And then we'll move on to the next thing. But what we find is these folks, they really love the networking the network that this builds for them. And they want to keep working on it. They want to keep in contact, and they do. And so we've got some of these, like for instance, CIP and asset management. They've been working together for almost 3 years now, I believe. And the folks that they share information, they keep doing improvements and tweaks, they keep building some more detailed parts of their process for others to share and use. And so it's been really exciting to see this. And that's the first thing that everyone mentions, our utility partners that participate in the program. They love this networking and getting together with their peers and really kind of diving into some of the specifics of how these business processes in particular work.
Well, so, I mean, that's fascinating stuff. And I love that idea of leading practices over best practices.
Yeah.
If I'm
What's
somebody,
the best practice, right?
That's right. How might I get involved? If this is something that's of interest to me, either in the development of or the products of side.
Yeah, well, and let me mention one other thing too, because we've had just one session recently, and we've had 3 webinars, and we have one more coming up on April 13th, and it's free to anyone who wants to. But we've also had a focus on the people processes. right? That's oftentimes things that don't get enough attention. So we've had working on organizational culture, we've had a team working on workforce, and we've had a team working on change management. As a matter of fact, that's our last upcoming webinar on, again, as I mentioned, April 13th. So folks, we welcome anyone to come and participate. We'll invite you to come to some of our group working sessions so you can see what it's like. You know, there is a small fee for folks that join. It just helps us cover the cost of the program, and we can work all that out. And you know, we have different rates based on the size of your utility. But I just encourage people to get involved, try it out, see what it's like. You can go to the and again, this will be on the information that we'll send out to HOD folks. We'll send you the webpage link on the WEF website. You can go see the past 3 webcasts, as well as the handouts from those, so you can get a better feel of what these are all about. And so we've got some really great people participating. We've got a lot of past utility management committee chairs and the upcoming or the current chair who's part of our process. We've got Jackie Jarrell from Charlotte Water, it's great to have Jackie be part of this. Todd Swingle. We've got a lot of great folks working on this. Charlie Stevens and Dan Ott from Kansas City Water. So it's everything you kind of love about this industry, right? It's filled with great people who want to get some really good work done.
That's great. Well, Mark, I'm going to leave your email right here in the video so that people can email you and get in touch about getting more involved in the WISE program.
You bet.
So last thing on my list here was that you're involved in the Intelligent Water Systems Challenge. What is this? What is it all about?
You know, it's an opportunity to showcase some innovation and to do some new problem solving, to bring some new solutions to things that we could never do before. And, you know, in my career, Steve, this is one of the things that's been so exciting. There's so much more possibility now that what we can monitor, what we can do, what we can automate, the problems that we can solve with all of these new technologies, these new sensors and other, there's artificial intelligence, of course. There's a lot of things that we have access to now that, I mean, we kind of dreamed about. When I was a young process analyst, our main problem was we couldn't get sensors that gave you any data that was really worth looking at. And so, you know, our joke was, you know, depending on what you were working on, you were either running your plant through the rear view mirror, or you had binoculars on a rear view mirror because you were using BOD analysis. That took 6 days, you know, after the 5-day incubation, right, to get some idea of what had happened. And now, of course, that's all changed. So I think it's a great opportunity to showcase what we can do and to create some new and innovative solutions. Some of the past teams like, for instance, there have been young professionals that have started and that have worked on a team together. We've seen some teams come together that have folks who are, you know, sort of more, what do you call them, seasoned professionals, and some new folks. And they kind of bring, it's a wonderful synergy where you bring kind of the folks who've been around a while and folks who have some new ideas and bring that together. There's been folks from universities that have participated, some students, as well as, I believe, some professors, but definitely students from universities. So it's a great opportunity to, and it's wide open, solve the problem you want to solve, right? And then submit it as part of this Intelligent Water Challenge. And there's actually prizes that go with it. And so it's a lot of fun. You're showcased at WEFTech. So, and it would be in the Innovation Pavilion. So, and if you haven't ever been down to the Innovation Pavilion, I would encourage folks to do that. It's really exciting to see all the new things that are going on in our industry.
Well, Mark, I think you're failing miserably at retirement. I think you're taking on more than maybe you even took on while you were working. So I congratulate you in your failure of retirement. We appreciate your service in WEF so much. And I know you've been an incredible mentor to me, being a past president of PNCWA, being a board member. There are so many amazing qualities that you have. And thank you for taking the time in your quote unquote retirement to share them with us as well. And so I encourage folks to reach out to you and learn more about the ways that they can be involved in these programs, as well as the utility management and leadership opportunities you offer as well. So thank you so much for being a part of this month's interview with the House of Delegates.
Thank you.